Been long since we last heard from Mukoma Nigel, but I thought of paying him a visit again today to see on the progress he is making on his experiments. You know, he's an experimental person. He's a scientist in his own right. But today we are here again, and my concern as we are preparing for the season is the management of pests. But mainly, I'm trying to look at for armyworm, which is a menace pest, a caterpillar, which destroys our maize if we don't control it from the early stage. But Nigel actually has managed to get rid of for armyworm in his crop. As we are looking here, you find that there's maize which is actually clean. If you look at it, have a closer look, it doesn't have. Let's not look at the state of the plant, but we are looking at the pest. You find that all the leaves, they are clean. There's not even a hole which is made out of stalk borer or which is made out of the damage of fall armyworm. So as a result, this is amazing as far as I'm concerned. But I think before I preempt anything, I think it's best to hear it from the horse's mouth. Nigel, what is it that which you have done to your maize for it to remain clean as it is? Because if you look at fall armyworm can attack a crop from January to January. It has no summer, it has no winter. It simply attacks. But your maize is very clean. What secret is to this maize here to, for it to look clean and nice like this?
Yes, one of the first things that we put when we transplanted is we put when we put the maize in the soil, we put a fall armyworm trap where this little scepter lets out the smell of a female fall armyworm moth. So when the moth comes to try and the male comes to try and mate, it gets caught on this sticky black paper. Then that means we don't have any reproduction happening around your maize crop. So the other thing that we did as well is we put what's called replenisher in the soil. That it's the one of the life cycle stages of the fall armyworm. And what we were saying is we've also looked at experimenting by taking the replenisher and just putting it at the heart of the maize so that the microbes that are in the replenisher can eat the fall armyworm itself or the stalk borer itself that's in the maize. And that's how we've managed to maintain a clean crop without any stalk borer or without any fall armyworm.
Tell me, if a person has got a hectare or 100 hectares, is it affordable? Is it manageable to apply to cover the 100 hectares?
Yes, it is. You can either use it as a foliar if you're large scale by just using a knapsack or boom sprays, or you can, if you're a smaller scale, you can just maybe put the powder in the heart of the maize so that once every 3 to 4 weeks, then you'll be safe.
It's amazing. I can tell you this is beautiful, this is brilliant. For the past 3 years, I've never seen a maize crop which actually hasn't got any hole which is caused by fall armyworm, because I tell you that worm came and it is here to stay. So when we have such a chemical and such a practical way of eradicating it, I think this is the way to go.
Yeah, because all our suppliers are doing is they're using nature to fight nature. That's how we're winning the battle against fall armyworm or stalk borer, because all the products that I've discussed here, they are basically things that have been made from either plant extracts or they've been made from natural microbes that naturally hunt for those things like fall armyworm to feed themselves. So it's like going back in the old days where you're looking, those things in our chemicals, they're looking for food as well to feed. That's how we've managed to reduce the amount of fall armyworm or stalk borer in the field.
Sounds great. Yeah, there's a lot happening here. I can see a crop of cabbage there, and there's again something which looks like a trap. Would you explain what actually that is all about?
Yeah, basically what this trap does is, because one of the biggest problems in when you're doing cabbages is white flies and aphids and DBM. What these traps do is, if you see they've got like some patterns there, they naturally attract the whiteflies, and they also attract the aphids as well. So it means instead of the whiteflies and the aphids going on your crop, they end up going and landing on the trap itself. So that's why you then see the crop is totally clean.
Yeah, it's you know, it's spotless, clean, no holes, nothing. Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's just basically again using nature to attract the males to come and feed, to come and reproduce. Sorry, when they come and reproduce, then they get caught over there instead of being caught on your plant. We also have DBM traps that we don't have here at the moment. They're on the other side, but they also cover this whole area. So it just means you are using less inputs, and also, like you always say, one of the things is, you know, if you're going to start eating this, you don't feel any bit where you think maybe if there's another pesticide that's residual or that's got a heavy knockdown effect, it might cause an effect on your health. All of it is totally healthy because you're just playing around with nature to cure pests from your field.
So this is a natural way of controlling our pests, and as a result, the food you're eating, you're assured of chemical-free food, because like you are saying, you know, residual chemicals in our vegetables can eventually cause some problems in health, particularly cancer. So really, I think this is the way to go. And if you look at it, it's so attractive that if you put it on the shelf, actually people rush for it because it's beautiful. They'll buy it, including the outer leaves. You know, it's unlike the other cabbages where you have to remove the outer leaves for it to be sold, you see. But this, you can proudly put it on a shelf as it is.
Yeah, and the products themselves, they're not that expensive as well. They are what we call sustainable. Long term, they work out to be cheap. You actually save money, but it might look like when you're buying them short term, you're spending too much money. But where it becomes cheaper is you're not rotating and buying unnecessary things, or you're not getting hit by a pest, then reactively buying something more expensive. That might be too late. You are doing what's called integrated pest management, where every week you're spraying something that ensures that your field doesn't get hit, and also you're not always carrying a knapsack every single time, because you're also using a bit of nature to reduce the population of pests in your field.
Sounds great. I can see I've got a beautiful homemade greenhouse here, which is what you want.
We've made
people
it
are
very
saying,
cheap as well.
many people, you know, they are crying for these things. I know I've got a lady in Redcliffe there, you know, Maichibwe. She's always supering me, says, hey, I want a greenhouse, and I want a greenhouse. One day she's in Harare, I'll bring her here so that she have a look at this. But of interest, of particular interest, is the tomato which is in there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I can see with the tomato, there is again a very clean tomato, and very healthy. And I'm looking at pests. Of course, this is in a greenhouse. People might argue that, you know, this is a greenhouse, maybe there are no pests. But I can see there's a trap again there.
Yes.
Maybe can you explain more on the pests, and particularly the tutor, because tutor has been a menace. People cannot grow good tomatoes because of tutor. Can you explain the best natural way of controlling tutor, probably using the traps?
Yes, with the traps, we've done exactly the same thing, where we've got some traps around that also capture the tutor absolute. So you find before when a tutor comes into this room, into this greenhouse, it would naturally try and land on the leaves. But what now happens is it lands over there, then it gets captured. So it means you're also going to use less pesticides. And you can see this is totally green and healthy, like a plant is supposed to look like.
It's like a plastic, actually.
Yes, absolutely. It looks like it's a film, but it's not.
It's not, yes.
But you can see it's totally spotless. There's no blights. There's no any signs of anything being bitten. And I think that's purely because we are using nature to fight nature. But when we're saying using nature, we're talking about products that have been carefully extracted by Russell IPM and put in a bottle so that they can be used again and again without having to rotate pesticides, because whenever you use what are called biopesticides or biorational products, it means you won't gain any resistance with the pest that you're trying to attack. So it's one of the most easiest ways to manage pests by just using biopesticides, and this is the direction that everyone is taking in most European countries. And also if you look at the places like Zambia, or you look at Kenya, they're all going the direction, or even South Africa, they're all going the direction of actually using biopesticides or biorational things to actually improve their yields, and to actually make sure that they're pesticide free as well, or even to make sure that they're blight free as well.
This I tell you, this is beautiful. You know, whatever we are buying along the roads, we don't know what we are buying, because we don't know what the farmer is used to spray, and we don't know what residual chemicals are in the vegetables we are buying. But when actually you are sure that a farmer is using this nature way of controlling pests and diseases, that's the way to go. You know, you're eating healthy, and then you live longer, and you've got more energy and power to produce more.
And those people that might be interested in this greenhouse, we are promoting where we are asking you to actually make your own greenhouses rather than get people to come and make them at a higher cost. So this one cost us less than 200 US to actually make, because we simply used some planks, we used some wire. So this is something you can get your own workers at your house to actually just build without actually getting expensive people that will charge you a lot of money to make. It's a simple structure where we've just put plastic at the top, we've put shed net over there, and we've just put our crops so that they survive in winter as well. So this is also one of those things we're trying to get people to use, that just buy plastic, buy wood, buy metal, and start growing things in winter.
Wow. And it's hot in here.
Yes, it is.
It shows that it's working, huh? Yeah. And yes, I can see we have more traps out here. Maybe you can explain more on what's happening here.
This one is the tutor trap that we're talking about, where even if you see the tutor is being caught there.
You're right. I can see that.
We also have the equivalent of this, which also catches DBM, where the only thing that we make different is this scepter again. Moths naturally love the color black. That's why we use a black one there. And for those people that do onions or that do cabbages and are having a lot of problems with thrips, this is an award-winning trap for thrips, where thrips naturally they love the color blue and those light blue patterns. But it not only catches thrips, it catches other soft-bodied pests as well. So it then just makes it easy for you to trap your pests. Like I said, it then means you don't have to spray a lot. So that's where you save some of your cost, because you're not spraying a lot, because this is capturing most of your pests. And I think that's it really.
And this one you've spoken about, huh? That's the yellow one. But one exciting thing, I can see this, you know, we can say you hold there, we can easily lift it, huh? Something like this, and then change or shift. Can you explain what is this?
Basically this is just us trying to say, if you're struggling to feed yourself because you don't have a big yard, etc., or you live in a flat, we're saying you don't always have to go and buy some vegetables. You can actually put some bricks, some sand, some soil, put some manure, horse manure for example. You can put your rape in here, or your cobo in here. You can put your salads.
You can see salads there.
Then you literally just start growing these, and every week you can just pick these like you do normally and cook them. If you love your salads, you can put this in a salad as well. So it means you don't have to give the excuse that I don't have a big piece of land. That's why I'm buying vegetables. You can literally just grow your own. If you have got about 3 of these on your balcony, on your flat, it means you never have to buy vegetables to cook, and you don't have to keep on giving away a certain amount of money on your budget when you've got a tight budget, but you can just grow your own and eat your own regardless of how much space you've got, because like you said, regardless of how much budget you've got, you can also just build a simple greenhouse structure.
Yeah.
And just start feeding yourself at home, and make sure you use effective things as well that are good for your health, because the good thing about these products that we're using, you can literally pick it up now, and when you've picked it up now, you can literally just start eating it, because they've got zero post harvest, so you don't have to actually wait 2-3 days before you start eating your salads. You can just be talking with friends and start eating your vegetables.
It is what taste, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So this is what we're trying to do, where we're trying to promote more sustainable ways of growing things, and I think that's it. That's what this is all about.
No, sounds great. Was really, you didn't maximize on the top, but you have also maximized on the sides. You can see holes and the plants growing there. Even the salads, they're also growing on the sides, huh? And it's so delicious. It's tasting nice.
Yeah.
If you put your raw tomato, raw onion, and a bit of vinegar salad dressing, and there you go. Yeah. Now, one interesting thing. Before all this, you were talking about a plant catalyst, right? A growth hormone. I'm seeing here, you've got this plant catalyst.
Yes.
You were talking of lots of advantages.
Yes.
The center of attraction is the yield which comes out of this.
Yes.
You know, you reduce the amount of fertilizers you use, and you use this, you can still attain the same potential yield from a particular area and from a particular variety. And at the same time, you can actually scale your yield. Say if you maintain the recommended fertilizers and you use this.
Yes.
So maybe you can explain more.
Yeah, so this product called Plant Catalyst is 100% biorational, which means everything in it is natural. And if you use this product, according to research and according to its use that has been used in so many different countries, most recently in Zambia and now in Zimbabwe, where we've registered this and we're using, most of our farmers are enjoying using it, is you have a few options. You can reduce your fertilizers by 50%, and you maintain your yield by just reducing your fertilizers by 50%, or you can reduce your fertilizers by 25% and you still enjoy an increased yield of around 30% based on research. Or you can actually keep all your fats, use this by spraying it once a week for the first 8 weeks, which is the most vegetative period of a plant's life, and you will actually enjoy an increased yield. So some of the farmers that have used this, in maize, for example, they've recorded almost 17 tons of maize by making sure they use it right from the seed, from inserting the seed in plant catalyst, sowing it, then using it for the first 8 weeks. You get a bumper harvest. So it means you can end up putting 1 hectare instead of putting 2 hectares, and just make sure that you feed it very well, keep all your inputs, and get like your double yield with this. So it's really powerful and really good, but it's absolutely 100% natural. Also, I want to clarify that it's not a fertilizer, so you can't use it by itself, but all it does is it helps your fertilizers that you've already put in the soil to be eaten properly. So if I was to give you an example of how it works, is normally if this is the amount of fertilizer you're putting when you've sowed your maize, or even your tomatoes or your cabbages, if you're putting this amount of fertilizer, what tends to happen is your plant doesn't eat all of these, doesn't absorb all of these fertilizers. So what happens is your plant ends up taking up maybe this amount of fertilizer. So because the nutrients are not in a form that's easily absorbed by the plant, what plant catalyst does is it just simply means if you put this amount, which is 50%, almost all of it is going to be absorbed. It's going to be made. It's like the equivalent of when you break down the food for a child. it becomes easy for the child to eat and break it. That's what plant catalyst does. It's not a
okay.
fertilizer. All it does is it makes food easily absorbed by the plant, so you don't end up needing both these. You just need you end up needing this.
Just enough.
But if you decide to use all of this, it means now if all of it is absorbed, then you're going to get even a bigger bumper harvest.
Right.
As
right.
opposed to just using half of it.
Yes.
But if times are hard, you can just use half of it. But
Right.
if you really want to maximize, keep all your fats, use it every week, then you just get double your yield.
Wow.
That's the way it works. So
Sounds great. Sounds great. Yeah, I think this I have to try. I have to try this season on a piece of land and monitor how it's going to do. But from what you're saying and from what Zambians are doing, you know, I've been going through, you know, the materials from Zambia and the like. Yes, most commercial farmers in Zambia, I'm saying commercial farmers in Zambia are using it because they've seen the benefit of it.
Yep.
And imagine if we say all our farmers or most of our farmers are using this product here in their production, what do you think will happen? Bumper harvest, and we'll probably start exporting our maize because we'll be having quite a lot of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
and this works on almost every crop as well.
Every crop,
As
huh?
long as it's a crop, it works. That's why even if it's not a crop, even if it's flowers, and you're doing flowers for to sell, roses, whatever it is,
Yeah.
you can see there it will work quite easily as well because we've been applying it in there as well.
Okay. Oh, okay. You're saying in all crops. Cotton? How does it work in
It
cotton?
works perfectly in cotton. It will work in groundnuts as well.
Yeah. Huh?
So it works for everything, even
Tobacco
in
is
tobacco.
all.
Yep, it will work.
Tobacco, how does it work?
It just makes sure that you get a healthy leaf and a bigger leaf as well.
Wow.
And your plant gets ready a bit quicker, because that's another thing that helps with this one.
Yeah.
If your plant is supposed to get ready in 100 days, this means it might get ready in about 93 days, which means you save at least a week.
Wow.
So it makes a big difference.
No, it does. It does. A big difference. Huh? In cotton, it increases the yield, the quality, the weight, everything.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds great. Huh? This is actually a magic.
Yes.
If I had a chance of changing the name, I'll change it from plant catalyst to magic something. You
Yeah.
see, yeah. Nigel, in case people would want to get hold of you, are you reachable?
Yes, I am reachable. If you go on Facebook and look for Afro Drip Tech Zimbabwe, or if you Google www.afrodriptech.com, you will see where our outlets are throughout the country. So even if you're in Bulawayo, you will be able to get our products in Bulawayo. You'll be able to pick up one of those plant catalysts or the lures. If you are in Gweru, you'll be able to do the same that as well. So just Google www.afrodriptech.com and you will see all our details there. And if you go on the Facebook as well, there's a lot of other testimonies that our farmers are putting there as well.
Wow, great. And any one phone number for them to track you on?
Yes, I can tell you the phone number. This will make my life a bit easy.
Of course,
if
yes,
I can
yes.
grab this. Okay, my phone number is 077 98 18 621.
Wow, great. Sounds great, huh? Well, that's beautiful. In Harare, where are you? I know Harare. It's a hub for everybody, for all the all the ecological regions in Zimbabwe, for all the provinces in Zimbabwe. People might want to come and buy from here while they want to go to Mutoko, Cholocho, or Bechnaf Bridge, or Bechnaf. They do a lot of horticulture. Eh?
Yes.
Yeah. And in Harare, where are you found?
In Harare, we're at number 20, St. Quintin, in Eastleigh. So you'll be able to get us quite easily from there.
Wow. Great. No, sounds great. No,
Okay.
Thank you very much. It
Thanks
was
a lot
nice having a
for
chat with you.
helping out the farmers as well.
Yeah,
telling
we
them about these amazing projects. As well.
we are trying because to me, after meeting you, I was making a follow-up, and I'm seeing you're doing quite a lot of work here.
Yeah.
It's only time factor, but I can see you're doing drip as well here.
Yes.
Which we think if we say a quarter of a hectare to every Zimbabwean farmer on drip. I tell you,
You save a lot of water. Then we don't have to have a drought.
we save a lot of water. We'll be able to export vegetables. We'll be able to feed ourselves and even export the food in the neighboring countries, if not the whole world. Would you want to say something
Yeah,
briefly
I would.
about drip irrigation?
Whether you're doing a hectare or even if you are just at home, you can even have a simple drip system like this one, which we've just experimented and designed,
Right.
where you will just, again, you're not wasting any water, because times are hard. You don't have to water the whole place. You can just water that bed only using the drip system, because it waters this bed only for us. So it makes a big difference. But if you want the full hectare as well, we can accommodate. But one of the things we're promoting is saving water, doing things properly, which is why we're saying water using drip system, or if you are doing vegetables, make sure you use the correct inputs. That means that 2 months down the line, you won't have your crop being ravaged by pests or fungi. You know it's going to be healthy. Or even if it's with drips, you know 2 months down the line, you're not going to run out of water in your well, because you're just target watering. That's why you see these are quite healthy, very green.
Really.
And again, we've been using plant catalyst on these as well. So you find you harvest them twice a week because they're growing a bit fast as well.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Very good income generation program. Huh? Right. Water use efficiency is what we are after, because I've always said to farmers, even if you are close to a dam, Kariba Dam, or any other biggest dam you can ever think of in the world, but water use efficiency is very critical. You don't have to abuse just because you've got the biggest dam on your farm. You utilize it well and efficiently and save as much as possible, because that water means a lot to somebody else who doesn't have it. So drip actually is the way to go. And your drip, is it affordable?
Yes, it is. It just depends. We've got drips for as little as 100 square meters, which will cost you maybe 800 ZWL, or you can just get as much as a hectare, which will possibly cost you maybe 1,000, which would possibly cost you maybe 12,300 ZWL as well. So we've got everything for every budget. As I've said, we are just trying to see how we can accommodate everyone, whether you are trying to just save money by growing things in your own garden like we've done here, or you're trying to do it big scale so that it's a way for you to earn money. We are looking at more innovative ways that are sustainable for the next generation of the farmers.
You know what's exciting? You invest 12,000 ZWL per hectare, and then you put a crop of potato, which in 4 months matures, and you can actually pocket 80,000 ZWL as profit in such a project. You pay back everything, including the drip, and then you pocket 80,000 ZWL. What more would you want?
And you still have water in your well or your dam.
You still have water in your dam, in your well, in your borehole. And look, we've got a lot of graduates coming from universities. They've graduated. While they're waiting the interim period before they get a job, they can embark in these projects and start earning money. Who knows? They might actually embark in full-time agriculture and create employment for other people as well in the community. So really, thank you very much. I'm actually inspired.
No, thank you for following up on us as well, to see what progress we're making as well. Thanks a lot.